Yo, what's up, guys? We got a sweat. We're down to Dustin Crum. We hit two of these on the live stream yesterday. We have Dustin Crum over 214.5 yards on PrizePicks. If you want to hedge this, if you were on the live stream yesterday, you can do that. So if you take a look here, depending on what sportsbooks you have available, if you look at the Canadian Football League, you'll see where is Dustin Crum. Is this guy's line is 227.5 on FanDuel, right? So this is called a middle bet. You could essentially middle this. You could take the under 227.5. You could also take the over 214.5. And then if Dustin Crum has, 215 to 227 yards, you'll win both bets. You'll win this under 227.5 on FanDuel. Let me make sure this is in my screen properly. So you can see that right here, under 227.5. And then you'll also win on PrizePicks. So let me make sure we're live. What's up, guys? So we'll find some more bets for today. We can start out on PrizePicks. We can start out on Underdog Fantasy. But I do like to keep these videos educational. So I'll put in the chat. What's up, guys? Dang, nice job losing streak 12. But anyways, nice job, guys. I included here just kind of a little PowerPoint breaking down the optimal slip type based on the sportsbook. So for example, PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy are two sportsbooks I use a lot. You're going to see on PrizePicks, it's a lot of 5-pick entries. And then on Underdog Fantasy, it's a lot of 3-pick entries. And the reason is you'll notice on like Underdog Fantasy, they give you a 6x payout for these 3-pick entries. Whereas on PrizePicks, if you take a look at PrizePicks, they only give you a 5x payout. So long story short, it really matters how many picks you're going with on these platforms. PrizePicks, you never want to place a 3-pick entry because they're giving you crappy payouts, right? Underdog Fantasy is giving you 6x, PrizePicks only 5x. But anyways, without further ado, what we can do is we can just start to look for some good bets. So we can start out maybe in the WNBA, maybe on Underdog Fantasy. So again, depending on where you're located, I'll try to focus on all of the major sports books. So like FanDuel, for example, is a good sports book. Lots of promos they have. You can see a 30% soccer parlay profit boost. Tons of different sports books, tons of different promos. But again, depending on where you're located, that'll affect, what sports books you have access to. So for example, I'm currently, in California. I don't have access to FanDuel. I don't have access to Resorts World. I mean, this looks like an incredible play. Hawaii against Stanford. You can see this sportsbook Resorts World. It's only in New York, but they have Hawaii at plus 225 money line odds. All the other sportsbooks have Hawaii around like, plus 170, plus 175. This is a crazy good bet, right? Plus 225 on Hawaii on Resorts World. So depending on the sportsbooks you have access to, you may place different bets. Here's a play on Hot Streak. So what we can do is let's get rid of some of the sportsbooks I don't use. So let's keep in FanDuel, Fliff, JockMKT, and then we can kind of go through some plays. So why don't we start out, though, on Underdog Fantasy. You can see the first play that OddsJam is recommending is Aliyah Boston under 15.5 points. So this tool is called the Fantasy Optimizer, and it's pretty simple. All it does is it points out value in the market. So the same reason, we took this play on Crum over 214.5 passing yards is all the other sportsbooks had his line higher at 227.5. So PrizePicks had their line too low relative to the rest of the market. So if we check out the WNBA, again, there can be good bets in, any sport you want to bet on. So if you look at player points, also apparently this play just cashed, which was also from the live stream yesterday, $20 to 500, 6-pick parlay. So pretty happy about that. Yeah, obviously wish we bet more on it, but whatever. $20 to 500, 25x payout on the 6-pick entry on ParlayPlay. So if you take a look at Aliyah Boston, this is just data-driven sports betting. This betting tool is called the Sportsbook Screen, and I included a promo code for 2 weeks free of OddsJam. But you can see here, PrizePicks has Aliyah Boston's line lower, right, at 14.5. All these books set lines independently, so the market's really fragmented. Like, I explained this in a lot of videos, but it's important, is like the reason it's really hard to be a day trader, and you won't make money if you try, most likely, is the market's very efficient. You go to Robinhood, you go to Fidelity, this is the price of Facebook. You're not going to see Facebook is $400 on Fidelity, it's $200 on Robinhood. This is the price, right? Whereas in the sports betting market, you have hundreds of sports books in the US. They're all setting lines independently. So you can see here, like basically every sports book has Aliyah Boston's line at, 14.5, SuperDraft, Caesars, all these random books, ParlayPlay, all these other fantasy sites. PrizePicks has her line at 14.5. Underdog Fantasy is at 15.5. So there's clear value on the under, right? So we want to take the under. And what is this? So let's reload this and let's go to the WNBA. And this can be the first play we lock in, right? That's a play with an edge on Underdog Fantasy. So let's type in Aliyah. How do you spell her name? Under 15.5 points. So this is a solid play with an edge, right? Pretty clear value, 15.5 here. All these other sports books that have invested millions of bucks in their ability to set lines, they all have her line lower at 14.5. So pretty clear value. So that's pretty cool. And the next play we can look at is Ka Cooper. And once again, it's like, what is Underdog Fantasy doing? It's like they have these WNBA lines in general way too high. They have her line at 17.5. That's an inefficiency in the market. All these other books have her line at 16.5, right? So, we're just following the data, not doing anything super complicated. So we have 2 WNBA picks, 2 unders, and we can keep on kind of going and see if we can find anything else. And again, Underdog Fantasy has pretty good payouts. For these 3-pick entries, they have a 6x payout. So we're probably going to hit, you can see there's some other discrepancies. I mean, here's a play in CSGO. Like I've explained this before. I mean, maybe we can put together a 5-pick entry on Underdog Fantasy, or we can do a 3-pick. But I mean, this play, here's another one, clear as day. Howard under 18.5, right? You can see all the other sportsbooks have the line at 17.5. This play seems solid. And also, these 2 players are in the same game, Aliyah Boston and Howard, and they're on opposing teams. So it's kind of like yesterday, right? We included Sabrina and Collier both to go under. Both of these plays had really good value, first of all. But second of all, like, the game was a blowout, so Sabrina and Collier basically sat out the 4th quarter. So these plays were positively correlated, right? I think the Liberty won by 35 points. So they were both on the bench for most of the 4th quarter. So long story short, taking star players on opposing teams in basketball, both to go under, Steph Curry and then whoever's on the opposing team, both to go under, Jason Tatum or, whoever else, makes sense. So here you can see we have a pretty good play, 3 plays with value. We have positive correlation on Boston and Howard, and we can go ahead and we can lock this in. 3-pick entry on Underdog Fantasy. And this will be our first bet of the day. So that play seems pretty solid. I think the underdog plays are gone. I still see them up there. So we'll go through some plays. And again, if you want to know just how many picks is optimal to go with on each platform, I'll share this little article that kind of breaks down the math. How many picks is optimal on each platform, right? So essentially, the reason you'll never see me place a 2-pick entry on PrizePicks is, on PrizePicks, to be profitable, placing 2-pick power plays, so I'll just give you a little example, is if you can win these prop bets like Ashcraft over under 2.5 strikeouts, if you can win these prop bets 57% of the time, that's pretty good, right? You're winning 57% of your prop bets on PrizePicks, you're only losing 43%. You may think that's good, but if you're playing 2-pick power plays, your ROI is still going to be negative 2.53%. Whereas if you can win your picks 57% of the time in a 5 flex, and here is literally, I'm just breaking down the math behind a 5 flex, your ROI is going to be 19.3%. So long story short, it doesn't matter, if you tail my underdog picks or PrizePicks picks, but you want to be placing 5-pick entries. And it's almost impossible to be profitable on PrizePicks long term playing 2-pick entries. Anyone giving out 2-pick entries has, they don't know what they're doing. So we can go back to Underdog. Again, I've explained this, but the more books you have, the better. Because more books means more profitable bets. You never know where the value is going to be, on a given day. So here, for example, we talked about the fact that you could hedge out of your play on Dustin Crum, right? You could take him under 227.5. We have him over 214.5 on PrizePicks. So if we go over to PrizePicks, you'll see right here, where's CFL? So if you go over to Canadian Football League, they kind of hide it. And you can see they already bumped his lineup. PrizePicks realized we had a really good bet on. So you can see, these lines aren't going to last forever. They've already bumped him up to 220.5. When you're taking advantage of these inefficiencies in the market, finding plays with an edge, you got to move quickly. It'll be interesting to see how long these plays last on Elijah Boston and Kyle Cooper. But here you can see Enzo, right? And it may seem like such a random bet. Like, why are we looking at this tennis guy? But Underdog Fantasy has his line at 11. So if we just go over to tennis on the Sportsbook screen, kind of go through the data, is what we can do is we can go to Aces and we can look up Enzo. As you can see, Underdog has his line at 11. SportsBattle has his line at 12.5, right? You can see that right here. So what you could do is, again, it's a very random bet, right? But this is where the value is. This is where the inefficiency in the market is, right? Out of these tens of thousands, and you can see they already locked it, but out of these tens of thousands of lines on Underdog Fantasy, most of these bets suck. Most of these bets aren't profitable. There's no value. There's no discrepancy, right? If we take a look at, Jewel Lloyd, Underdog has her line at 23. Let's see about PrizePicks. PrizePicks has her line at 23.5, but not a big discrepancy. I mean, still a little bit of a discrepancy. But, Jewel Lloyd rebounds, they both have her at 4, right? PRA's 31.5 here, 31.5 here as well. So, there's no major discrepancies. There's no value in the market, or at least big enough to justify betting it. But here's a solid play, 11 versus 12.5. You could middle this. Take the over on Underdog, the under on SportsBattle. And again, you're going to need multiple sports books to middle bet. Take the over, take the under. If there's exactly 11 aces, you'll push on Underdog Fantasy. You'll win on SportsBattle. If there's 12 aces, you're going to win both bets. That's how the sharps do it. And you can look it up. This is one of the most common, betting strategies that people will talk about for the sports betting syndicates and professional sports bettors is middle bets, arbitrage, and positive EV. So we can keep on going, and you can see there's a lot of tennis line discrepancies. These books are really screwing up their lines. Brandon Nakashima, Underdog has his line at 13.5, SportsBattle 12.5. Interesting, right? That's good information to have. But let's go to esports. So here it's just you could middle bet this, but I'm not just going to take it on Underdog Fantasy because, again, there's not many other data points, right? The play on, Elijah Boston was really clearly good. So if we go to Underdog Fantasy and we open up this play, this one was really clearly good because there were, 15 other sports books. PrizePicks, $1 billion company. They've invested a lot of money in their ability to set lines. Same with FanDuel, same with DraftKings. And they're all telling you her line should be at 14.5, right? This is just day trading the sports books. And we're getting positive correlation on these two picks, which is great. So, yeah, whereas these tennis plays, again, you can see Underdog Fantasy's already shit, our line was off. I don't know if someone hit it or if they're watching the stream, but they've already removed it. So you really got to move quickly. But again, I wouldn't just take this play on Underdog Fantasy because you don't have many other data points telling you Underdog Fantasy is the side, that's wrong. However, for CSGO, that's not the case. So we'll stick with it, and then we'll maybe move over to PrizePicks, see if we can find any value on PrizePicks. Again, there can be good bets on any sports book. So you can see here, this play seems decent. You could also get it on SportsBattle. PrizePicks has her line at 4.5 assists. The sports books are at 4.5 assists, right? This sports book has the line at 4.5 with the over as the favored outcome. So Underdog has their line at 4. The sports books are at 4.5. In this one, Betano has the over as the favored outcome, right? ParlayPlay has the line at 4.5. So this is pretty clearly a good pick that we can go with. So this will be our second pick. Take her over 4 assists. And then we can go back here and we can just reload it. I mean, again, these lines are always moving around. I've explained this before, but as there's new information in the market, and by that I mean lines are moving. As people place bets, you'll see these sports books are constantly moving around odds. You can open up a little line movement chart, crap like that. But new betting opportunities are coming, they're going, stuff like that. Like you can see here, all these books. Some books move lines like very frequently, some books not as much. You can see here, some books just go straight down, some books, you know, move lines pretty frequently. But anyways, let's go back to Underdog Fantasy. So let's skip over these tennis plays. And then it looks like they got rid of those plays on Aliyah Boston already, right? Aliyah Boston. So you can see they already bumped her down to 15, right? So a lot of the value is going away. So, okay, and then what's the final pick we could go with? So we could take one of these tennis plays as the final bet, or... So I really like these two plays, but we want to find something else to pair it with. So what we could do is, again, just these plays in green, that's what you want to focus on. So maybe we just take this play on Corda, whatever. The other two picks are really good. Maybe if I remember to, I can middle bet it. But for now, this will be the 3 picks we go with on Underdog Fantasy. Zevi over, and it looks like the most random slip of all time. But again, I'm just following the value. Wherever there's value, wherever there's an edge, I'm going to end up betting. Stream is frozen. Is the stream frozen? Hey, Chris. So, are we avoiding tennis plays? No, I'm not avoiding tennis plays. I just can't open... SportsBattle doesn't have like a website that you can bet through. So I'm just avoiding it for now. But I did take this play on Corda. So if you're just tuning in, we have 2 picks now. We have this one, which I definitely like more. So hopefully you were on... So hopefully you were able to get that one down. Nope, those are NFL full season bets. And then here's the second pick. And it looks like the most random bet of all time. But again, that's where the value is. And it's very simple, like, you know, everyone wants to outsmart the sports books with their gut, whatever. But the easiest way is just follow the market information, find these inefficiencies, and, you know, exploit them. That's how you'll make money long term, you know. So we can go here. Damn. So here we have like a big... So is there anything on PrizePicks? There's a few plays on PrizePicks. But there's some good stuff on PrizePicks. So let's refresh this. And let's find a PrizePicks slip. So here, for example, this is a perfect example of a play that we can go with on PrizePicks. So if you take a look here, it's very simple, right? On PrizePicks, this is the number you're looking to beat. If you can win in 5-pick power plays, your picks, above 54.25% of the time, you'll be profitable, right? That's why I place 5-pick flex plays. That's the lowest amount, right? You have to have the lowest, you know, the required win rate is the lowest. Whereas, you know, as I explained earlier, so if you're playing 2-pick power plays and you're winning your picks 54.25% of the time, you're going to lose 12% of your money. Your ROI is going to be horrible. And I'll share this spreadsheet as well for anyone who wants to look into the math and kind of stuff like that. Anyways, let's put that up here, and then let's go through the data. So we can start here with Hoax over 35.5, right? You can see the other books have this line at 38.5, 37.5. Again, very simple. All OddsJam is doing is reading in, you know, tens of thousands of lines from every sports book, millions of odds, and just pointing out the discrepancies. You know, most bets, there's not discrepancies, there's not value. So that play seems solid. And then we can go to the next play, which is also CSGO. So it seems like PrizePicks screwing up a lot of their CSGO lines today. Bad news bears. Sonic's line is at 17. Underdog 19. You know, SportsBattle 19.5. So it's crazy, right? You would never see an NBA player where his points line is 17, right, on one sports book, and then 19.5 on another sports book. It's really only in esports where the market is so fragmented and so inefficient. And again, that's because there's so many games every single day. There's like 50 games a day. These sports books are posting lines for, they're all setting lines independently, so the market is extremely fragmented. So there's a lot of CSGO plays, and PrizePicks is way too low on all these plays, right? So we're just following the information in the market. Here's another one, right? None of these plays are in the same game. 3 overs. And again, I don't place these 5-pick, 3-pick entries on PrizePicks because you're only getting a 5x payout. Whereas Underdog Fantasy, you place them all the time because you're getting a 6x payout. And that really matters long term in terms of profitability. Again, like, you know, depending on the sports books you use, there's tons of good bets on FanDuel. The reason I'm not betting on FanDuel right now is I don't have access to it, but it's a great sportsbook, FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars. There's a lot of good bets. Over 43.5, there's a lot of good tennis bets you'll find on FanDuel. My two most profitable sports on FanDuel are tennis and soccer. At least over the past few years they were. So, like, there's a lot of value in tennis, and that kind of makes sense, right? Sportsbooks don't focus on their tennis lines as much. They focus on the NFL. They focus on the NBA. They're not really zoning in on making sure they have perfect tennis odds. So let's go here. And then you can see there's just a shit ton of discrepancies between SportsBattle and PrizePicks in where they're setting these tennis lines, right? Like Maria Sakkari, breakpoints 1. PrizePicks has her line at 4.5. SportsBattle 5. But again, there's not many other data points, so I'm going to skip them over. And we can go to, however, this play looks great. So let's start here, right? We can actually pull up tennis, and then we can go to total games, and we can take a look at the market, kind of follow the data. So if you take a look here, PrizePicks has this line at 22.5, right? Total games. SportsBattle's at 21.5. DraftKings has the line, right? So PrizePicks at 22.5, SportsBattle 21.5. DraftKings has the line at 21.5 with the under favored, right? So PrizePicks line at 22.5, DraftKings has the line at 21.5 with the under favored. So this play is clear as day. Every other sportsbook has the line at 21.5. A lot of them have the under 21.5 as the favorite outcome. So this is a really good bet. A lot of data points too, right? The more sportsbooks posting odds, the more confident you're going to be in your bets, right? If it was just DraftKings and PrizePicks, it's like, oh, I'm not really sure who's screwing up. But here you have Caesars, another billion-dollar company with really sophisticated models, who's setting the line at 21.5, PrizePicks at 22.5. So, like, obviously you want to take the under. We found an inefficiency in the market. We found a profitable bet. So that play seems great. So this play, I mean, there's actually a fair amount of pretty good tennis bets right now. So sometimes it's a little confusing on PrizePicks to figure out which player's name you should search. So we want to take this under 22.5, right? Most books have the line at 21.5. If they have up the alternate lines, they have it around like minus 140. And then we can go here and we can take, I was going to take under 40, but you can see PrizePicks already bumped it down to under 39, little bitches. So what we can do is we can, whoa. And you can see there's some NFL preseason props popping up as well. So there's actually a fair amount of bets. There's a fair amount of bets, and again, anything above a win rate of 54.25% is good to go on PrizePicks. Some of these picks in yellow, if you already have a really good slip, maybe dabble with them. These picks in red, not as much. So we'll refresh this just because some of the lines have moved. So we have 4 picks going on right here. And we have Sonic. Okay, we have those 3 esports plays. We're going to skip over that tennis total games play. We'll skip over this play. I mean, you can see there's a big middle, right? 10-yard middle. That's crazy. CJ Stroud, 50.5 passing line on PrizePicks. Vivid Picks has this line at 60.5. However, this play looks incredible. So we can take this play. Let's go here. And then we want to go to the MLB. And we want to take, and they already bumped him down to 4. Damn, they are bumping stuff quick. You can see they had the line at 4.5, which seemed pretty good. They've already bumped it down to to 4. So some of these lines move real quick. So we got 4 picks, and we're looking for one more on PrizePicks. If you're just tuning in, already hit some bets on Underdog Fantasy. We have this play. And then we have this play from the live stream. I'm not sure if any of the other plays are available. Been on PrizePicks now for a bit. So what we can do is we have 3 really good picks, okay? We're going to skip over these shitty breakpoints plays, okay? And what we can do is, I mean, here's another play we could go with. Koala, over 38.5. All the other sportsbooks have this line at like 41.5. So again, you could middle bet it. You could take the under 41.5 on, ParlayPlay. And you could, if you wanted to, you could take the over 38.5 then on PrizePicks. So we got some good picks. So what we can do is we can go here, and we can take the over 38.5. Right? Are any of these picks from the same game? So I don't think it's going to let us bet this because some of these players are in the same game, but we can try. So you're going to see in CSGO, it doesn't let you pair players from the same team both to go over. Those are positively correlated, so that, kind of makes sense. But they're not going to let us do that. So we can dabble with Graham Ashcraft over 4.5 strikeouts. So let's go here. Let's go to the MLB. Let's go to strikeouts. And then we want to take him over 4.5. So a lot of lines moving. Again, to get in on actually good bets, anyone who's placing bets and the lines aren't moving, their bets suck. And here will be our 5-pick entry on PrizePicks Flex Play for today. And again, the more books you have, the better. I've explained this before, but I don't think there's any really good promos going on today. But like all these books run promos, PrizePicks, Taco Tuesday, Flex Friday, Sleeper has a bunch. There's a lot of money you can make just betting these promos. So yeah, more books you got, the better. More books, more profitable bets. Never know which book's gonna, fuck up their lines on a given day. But here's the full slip on PrizePicks if you want to tail. Jock Market has a free square. So apparently Jock Market has a free square. So what we can do is we can check out that. So maybe we'll go through some Jock Market plays. Damn. So it does look like they have a free square. Again, what's annoying about Jock Market is they don't have a website you can bet through. So it's hard to pull up on the live stream. But we can refresh PrizePicks. We got some good picks. And let's look for some plays. So we have 3. Anything else we'd want to consider going with? You can see it looks like they're starting to drop some League of Legends lines for tomorrow, which is great. And let's go see what else is out there. So nothing crazy. We can bounce back to Underdog Fantasy, see if there's anything we want to go with. I mean, again, honestly, not much. We kind of cleared out Underdog Fantasy. We can check out ParlayPlay. Again, more books, better, right? Oh my God. They have a shit ton of bets. And yes, this is where, if you're just tuning in, we hit a 6-pick. I mean, it didn't register yet, but we hit this. $20 to win 500. Apparently this play won. So we can go back to ParlayPlay. And what's nice about ParlayPlay, right? What's really nice about it is every single day they have this promo where you can essentially just increase or decrease a player's line. So if you really like a play, you can bump it down. So if we were going to take this guy's over 36.5, you can bump it down to 35.5. You can only do it once per day, but it's still a nice promo, and they run it every single day, right? So, but there's a shit ton of lines available in the WNBA, it looks like. So we can go to WNBA player points, and let's take a look. Kelsey Mitchell, under 21. That's the first play it's recommending. And what a surprise. It's clear as day, right? If you don't understand why this, why you would want to be on this bet, stop gambling for a bit and maybe learn why. But you can see, PrizePicks has her line at 21. Or, sorry, ParlayPlay has her line at 21, right? PrizePicks has her line lower at 20. Underdog Fantasy is way lower at 19.5. Same with SportsBattle. DraftKings has the line lower, and they have the under super heavily favored. They have the under 20.5 all the way down at minus 140 odds. So they have her under 20.5 very heavily favored. So getting under 21 on ParlayPlay is a no-brainer. Literally a no-brainer. So what we can do is we can go here. Damn, there's a lot of bets. And then we have Sammy Whitcomb, under 9.5. I can almost guarantee this will be the same thing. Or under 10.5. So this play seems solid. PrizePicks Underdog. This play is also available on SportsBattle if you want to play it on SportsBattle. So we can go here. We can take Sammy under 10.5 points. And again, if you wanted to slide the line, whatever, you can get an extra full point of value. We already really like Mitchell under 21. You can take the under 22 if you want to use the slide the line special on that, right? And what you could do is if you're, you don't really like risk, Go over to Underdog Fantasy, hit the over 19.5. You have a huge middle. 19.5 versus 22 is crazy, right? So, okay, we found our second good bet. Man, there's a lot of unders that are available in this game. So again, WNBA, it seems like a very, random sport, but if that's where the value is, that's what we'll be betting. So then it's recommending Elizabeth Williams under 10.5 points. Kind of makes sense. PrizePicks Underdog have the line at 10.5. So we want to take her under. So kind of like all these plays, it's just taking a bunch of unders here on ParlayPlay. And we can keep on going. And again, on this platform, it's a little different. You ideally want to play 6-pick entries. So this play, for example, we hit on PrizePicks. No, we didn't hit it on PrizePicks because it was from the same game. But you can see, like, in esports, so let's go over to, so a lot of unders in this slip, but hey, if that's where the value is, fuck it. So we can go here to CSGO, and then we can go to kills. And who we want to look at is Cola, right? And you can see here, like, it's pretty clear, right? Underdog, or actually, it's pretty clear, though. All the other fantasy sites have the line around, like, 38.5, 40.5. ParlayPlay has the line at 41.5, so we'll take the under, right? And again, it's not glamorous, but this is how you make money sports betting. It has nothing to do with fucking watching sports. It's the dumbest thing in the world. So you can see here, Hoax. PrizePicks had his line at 35.5. What we could do is you could middle bet this. And if you wanted to, I think you're going to have to pick, we're only going to be able to pick one of these plays, but you could middle bet this, right? Take the over here, take the under here, right? If he has 36, 37, or 38 kills, we're going to win both bets. That is called a middle bet. So that seems like a pretty good opportunity. Man, there are a lot of WNBA unders as well, though, so we'll kind of build this slip. So we can go here to player points, and let's take a look at Arike. So once again, they have her line too high, 22, 21.5. Most sportsbooks. Caesars has the line at 21.5 with the under heavily favored. So we're just following the data to get 6 picks with an edge. So on ParlayPlay, you want to find, ideally 5 or 6 pick entries. 6 pick is a little better than 5, so, but not by much. So in general, I try to play 6 pick entries. Man, there are a lot of WNBA plays. A lot of WNBA plays. And then we have card over 37.5. And this is a solid play, it looks like, on ParlayPlay. Although this play, again, we don't really want to include that. CSGO correlation is a little tricky because it depends how big of a favorite each team is. Dustin Crum rushing yards, I mean, whatever. We'll go with Schuster under 3.5 strikeouts, and this will be our final pick. And again, we'll slide the line. You don't have to, or maybe we don't. The downside to sliding the line is it's only a max bet size of $20. So if you wanted to bet more, you're going to see ParlayPlay has pretty low betting limits, only $60. If you try to put in more, they're not going to let you bet it. But regardless, this will be the play we go with. And you're going to fuckers. So they already moved the play on Sammy Whitcomb. So what we're going to have to do is we can take a look at Jewel Lloyd, or what other options do we have? Jewel Lloyd under 2.5 made threes. Sure, good enough. We'll go with that. And we will slide the line. Why not? Let's take Kelsey Mitchell under 22. So this play seems solid, and then we want her under 2.5 made threes. This, because we're doing the little slide the line promo, right? Bumping the line. We want to take the under 21, but we'll bump it up to 22, is we can slide the line and get this down. And then we have a really sharp, a lot of these picks were extremely good, finding 6 plays with an edge, and we're good to go. What's negative correlation? What would be negatively correlated here? Jewel Lloyd, nothing's negatively correlated. I don't think so. We can take a look, though. So let's go here. Let's refresh this. So Wings, Sky, Storm. Nah, nothing's negatively correlated. This slip's good to go. Just waiting on them to cash me out right now. So there's some other plays here. CFL plays, whatever. Go back to Underdog Fantasy. I mean, again, they kind of drop these esports lines at randomish times. So there'll probably be some good esports plays a little later in the day. You can see there's some decent discrepancies out there. If there's anything else you want to play on PrizePicks. So did they pull CJ Stroud passing yards? So what we can do is we can see here. So like if you wanted to, again, you could middle bet this. Like it's not glamorous, but these are strategies that win. Under 60.5, over 50.5, right? That's like a no-brainer bet. That is a way where you are going to make more money, win more bets. So you can see some more plays are popping up on PrizePicks. We can go back here. We can see if there's any plays on Fliff. I just kind of bounce around. This play is incredible. I already bet it. I mean, there's a lot of good value on Fliff on the positive EV tool. So the fantasy optimizer mainly points out like discrepancies and where PrizePicks Underdog have their line set. Like, oh, you know, Sonic's headshots line is 17 here, 19 on Underdog and SportsBattle. The positive EV tool, again, like PrizePicks doesn't have odds on their platform. And we just hit this PrizePicks slip if you're tuning in. I'm not sure if all these plays are still available. The tennis play was definitely the best one. But PrizePicks, right, they don't have odds on their platform. There's no odds on PrizePicks, right? So, like, the difference is FanDuel has odds. So these sites work in kind of different ways. So the positive EV tool is mainly used for, like, betting on FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, stuff like that. And it points out massive discrepancies in the odds. So here, Caesars has this line at plus 200. Caesars has this Fliff has this line at plus 200. Caesars all the way down at plus 133. Right? Clearly a good bet on Fliff. Here, you know, early college football lines, Massachusetts, Auburn. If you want to take Massachusetts against Auburn, plus 37.5 at plus 110, seems like a random bet, but hey, that's where the value is, right? Minus 110's here, plus 110 on Fliff. Pretty simple. Following the value, taking your gut out of sports betting. 99.9% of bettors bet with their gut. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. That's why the books are in business. There's also a variety of other strategies you can use to make money sports betting. One of my favorites is arbitrage betting. It's how I started out sports betting, you know, making risk-free profits off the sports books. And it sounds too good to be true, but here you can see on Caesars, you only have to bet the over 8 minus 184, right? Betting 184 to win back 100, whereas the under is priced at plus 200. So if you have access to both Fliff and Caesars, you know, we can just go through an example. Over 8, and then you have under 8. So arbitrage betting is, because books, it's kind of like, you know, when you middle bet, right? Like Dustin Crum's line is 227.5 on FanDuel. So what you could do is you could take the over 214.5. It's kind of like buying a stock for 214.50, and then you're selling it for 227.50. So it doesn't make a lot of sense because you're not taking an opinion on whether Dustin Crum is going to go over or under. All you're doing is you're hedging, right? You're essentially hedging, but it's a big discrepancy because the market's very inefficient. All these books set lines independently. Like, that's clearly a really good hedge. 214.5 versus, you know, 217.5. And again, like, what you have to remember is this guy's line is centered around, like, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, 13, or how big was our middle? 13 yards doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Yesterday, I think it was even bigger. But you have to remember, like, his line is centered around there. So the probability he falls between, you know, 215 and 227 passing yards is actually pretty high, right? Like, that's what his distribution centered around. But again, arbitrage betting, and we have some tutorial videos, stuff like that on the site, but it's very useful. It's how I started sports betting. So you can see Caesars has the over, because a lot of people will ask, like, oh, can you make money sports betting? And I'll show you how exactly how this works. So plus 200 on Fliff. What are you doing, bro? So 200 Fliff. So that's fine with me. So what you could do, this is so annoying, is follow this calculator, right? This is a massive discrepancy between Caesars and Fliff. So maybe you're like, oh, you know, Fliff has a max bet size of 250. So what this calculator tells you, an arbitrage calculator, is how much to hedge on Caesars to make a risk-free profit of 14.08. To be an arbitrage bettor, you got to move quickly. These lines can move quickly. So know how to navigate the sports books. You're going to need multiple sports books. But you're going to see is if we bet this on flip for 250, it's telling us to hedge, right? 485 or 486 on Caesars. And again, the downsides are you got to move quickly. Most of these sports books, you know, so there's either going to be 0 to 7 runs, there's going to be 8 runs, or there's going to be, you know, 9+ runs. So, and then we'll go back to Underdog Fantasy and PrizePicks after I go through this math. And then this is going to be net profit. So this is pretty simple. You know, we can go through the math just due to this massive discrepancy in sportsbook odds. And I'll do some examples when I'm back on the East Coast and I have access to Caesars. I mean, I'd place this in front of you, but I don't have access to Caesars right now. So this is how much we're betting on the over and the under. Literally an insane discrepancy. This is only possible in sports betting because of massive discrepancies in bookmaker odds. So if there's 8 runs, right, we're going to push both bets. You get a refund on both bets. So your profit is going to be 0. If there's 0 to 7 runs, we're up 500 on Fliff because we bet 250 at plus 200 odds. So we're up 500. And then we're down 486 in profit on Caesars. Right? So your net profit is $14. Now, if the game goes if the game goes over, we're down 250 on Fliff, but on Caesars, we bet 486 at minus 184 odds. So 486, right, times 100 over 184 is going to be our profit, and you're up $14. So regardless of what happens, you make money, right? That's arbitrage betting. So that's a strategy that works on sportsbooks, but you can't do it on PrizePicks. Again, because the reason you can't do it on PrizePicks is on PrizePicks and Underdog Fantasy, you need at least 2 picks. You can't place straight bets. I can't just bet on CJ Stroud under 60.5 passing yards. You need at least 2 picks. So we can go back to Underdog ParlayPlay, and again, here's the play on ParlayPlay. If you wanted to tail, if you're just tuning on, again, you want to place 5 and 6 pick entries on ParlayPlay. Here's what we went with. Looks like the most random slip of all time, but again, if that's where the value is, that's where we're going to be betting. Here we have 3 CSGO plays, an MLB play, and a tennis play. So that's what I got on PrizePicks. And then if you look at Underdog Fantasy, you know, we have this play, boom, and then we have this play. Just finding plays with an edge on whatever book we can find them. So we can go back to PrizePicks. See if there's anything new. Again, some of the best betting opportunities for esports, you know, occur when books first release lines. So I try to remember or just keep an eye out for when books, you know, drop their esports lines. It looks like this play on Kelsey Mitchell may still be available. Let's refresh this. So we can actually bet it again because I slid the line and I did Kelsey Mitchell under 22.5, under 22 points. I took advantage of that promo. I can actually bet it again and take her under 21, and this play is still incredible. I mean, again, every other book has her line at 20.5 with the under really heavily favored, 19.5 on Underdog, Super Draft. I mean, every other book is lower. Clear as day, we want to be on this under. This is probably the best play we found on the live stream. And then we want Koala under 41.5. So there's a variety of bets we can take. Again, so you can see these little bitches bumped it down to 39.5 already. So that's annoying. So we're going to have to get rid of it. So you're kind of, you know, you got to move quicker than the books. You got to get in on these betting opportunities quicker. Alex Marsh over 4.5 hits allowed. So sure. So this game starts soon as well. So let's go here. And then what else did we like? Sammy Whitcomb under 10. Nah, we already hit that. Marina Marbury over 15. So this is interesting. Let's take a look at her line. All the books have her line at 15, some at 15.5. Doesn't seem clear like who's screwing up their line. So we could take Schuster under 3.5, so that'll make our third pick. but we want to go with at least 5. So are there any plays we like? Jewel Lloyd under 2.5. What do we like? What do we like? Sammy Whitcomb under 2.5. Maybe we go with this. So this seems fine, but we still need one more pick, so we can take her under 2.5. And then it's just, what else do we want to take? Hap under 35.5. So maybe we go with this. And then, okay. And just kind of building the slip. I mean, I try to look for some correlated slips. Like, by that I mean it would be great if, like, it would be great if we're taking CJ Stroud over 50.5. It would be great if we could find, like, a Texans receiver to also take over, right? Like, get some positive correlation in the slip. Take CJ Stroud over, take a Texans receiver over. But we're not going to be able to do it. I'm only going to be able to rebet this. Again, Underdog Fantasy has a max bet size, or sorry, ParlayPlay has a max bet size of $60 for 6-pick entries. Because I already bet on Kelsey Mitchell, they're only going to let me bet this for $40. So I'll hit it for $40. And here is our next pick on ParlayPlay. So anyways, we'll call this live stream for now. Hopefully it was helpful. If there's anything I didn't get to, anything, you know, whatever, feel free to reach out to me. PrizePicks is moving quick. Feel free to, you know, reach out, but we hit a bunch of picks.